Hey, welcome back to GMA3. We turn now our focus to North Carolina, where the Tar Heel State is being praised for its use of demographic data to promote vaccine equity.
Here to discuss is North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. Governor Cooper, thank you so much for being with us. Yes, we have talked a lot about vaccine inequity. So explain to us how you're using this data to solve the problem, to give all of your residents equal access to this vaccine.
Well, first, happy anniversary to you guys. You picked quite a year to get started. But, you know, we all are working our way out of this pandemic, and we know the best way to do that is through vaccinations. North Carolina recognized early on that we need to make sure that we get vaccines out in a way that's fast and fair. Therefore, we're one of the few states that built our own database so that we could see how vaccinations were going to various people, race, ethnicity, all of that information that we have. And in fact, we were recognized by Bloomberg as having the most transparent data on this. You can't tackle a problem unless you can see it. And our data allows us to see it. And my mission here and my instruction to all of our providers is to get the vaccine off of the shelf and into people's arms before the next shipment comes, but make sure those arms look like North Carolina's population. And we have been very successful. The CDC put out a report just this week ranking North Carolina in the top 10 of equitable vaccinations. We know we have to reach every corner of North Carolina, every person. Our underserved communities have really been hit hard by this pandemic. We need to be there for them and to get them vaccinated and to help them in every way that we can.
But again, Governor, the way this is working, everyone there who gets vaccinated, you do collect data on race and ethnicity. And then it takes a few weeks. But what do you do once you collect that data? How do you make an adjustment in vaccinations?
We have instructions to all of the providers that we want them to get it off the shelves before the next shipment comes, but we want your distribution to reflect the population in your area. And we grade them and get back with them and push them. We're also developing amazing partnerships in our communities with our churches, with our community groups. We have Spanish translators who are going out in communities and making sure that we are getting this vaccine into Black and brown North Carolina arms. And we have made that a priority in this administration to make sure that we are fast and fair. When you look at the numbers, you see a disproportionate hit on sickness and death in our Black North Carolinians. This pandemic really is putting a spotlight on challenges that we already faced, getting health care coverage to everyone, making sure we get high-speed internet access across our state, making sure that we invest in our schools and our health care. And we want to find opportunity in crisis here. And to use this crisis of the pandemic to make sure we are addressing these issues across North Carolina, paying attention to race and ethnicity, particularly since this pandemic has hit them so much harder.
Governor, you recently announced a plan that would require all North Carolina public schools to reopen in some varying degree of in-person learning. What do you say to parents, to teachers, even to students who may be concerned still about their safety doing that?
So the research has shown us time and again that we can get our children safely into the classroom as long as we have certain protocols, making sure everyone is wearing a mask, making sure we have distancing that can protect educators and students from being infected. And we have seen the tragic circumstances from our children not getting into the classroom. Our child abuse reports are down. The reason for that is children aren't in school. It's where they get attention from counselors and where they get health care, where they get nutritious meals, where they learn socialization. Our educators, our schools provide so much more for our children. They're falling behind. Yes, there's a balance there, but in North Carolina, we've got strict safety protocols. We believe we can get these children back into schools And I'm proud to make sure that we are supporting our teachers. We made sure that our teachers could begin vaccinations in mid-February. We've gotten a lot of our teachers vaccinated. This is exciting to get our children back in school. Most of the teachers and the parents that I talk to are very happy. Our numbers are really declining and stabilizing in North Carolina. I still have a mask mandate. I still have restrictive protocols on capacity in certain places where the virus can spread to make sure that we are emerging from this pandemic in the right way. And I think you'll look and see North Carolina is among the states that had fewest deaths per capita. It's because we've had the right balance. We have listened to the health experts. We've looked at the science. We've followed the data. And now, as we're beginning to emerge from this pandemic, we don't want to celebrate too early before we reach the finish line here. My mask mandate is still up. We've got to continue to do that. Our schools really should be the last to close and the first to open because they are so important. And I look forward to finishing out this school year and starting the next one in a strong way.
And Governor, you're talking about some successes there, and I think a lot of people will acknowledge some of the success certainly when it comes with vaccine equity. But one thing we are hearing from folks in the state has to do with the HOPE program that was put into place. Certainly it's supposed to be a good thing, help people pay their rent, help people with their utilities. But they apply for the state program, the HOPE program, and there is it seems to be a backlog and a delay, and people are hurting and waiting and wondering when that money is going to come. Do you recognize there is a problem there, and are you working to fix it?
Well, first, North Carolina recognized that there was a problem with evictions and utility shutoffs early on in this pandemic. It's why I issued an executive order putting that to a stop. But we also knew that we needed to provide financial help, and that's why we took the federal money and made this Housing Opportunities and Prevention of Eviction Fund, or HOPE, to help these families. And we provided out over $140 million in awards, helped almost 37,000 families. Yes, there are some bugs in the process where landlords and utility providers are waiting for some payments, but they're getting those ironed out. The fact that we have almost 37,000 people who have gotten awards, it means that during this period of time, the utility company cannot shut off utilities. The landlord cannot evict them. They're working to get the money to them as fast as they can. And think about this program and how complicated it is, but we really have it in a position where we think it's going to work very well. The money goes directly to the landlord and to the tenant. And it pays 6 months of back rent, and it pays 6 months of utility, keeps people in their homes with the light on. This was an innovative program that we started. We believe a lot of other states will emulate it, and we're going to work hard to make sure that it works flawlessly into the future, because thanks to the American Rescue Plan, we have additional money coming into North Carolina that we can funnel through this program. We know that a lot of people are struggling with housing, paying rent. It could be any day that they get kicked out of their home. We got to step up and help during that tragic time for families.
Well, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, we know you have been hard at work. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us on this special anniversary.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.